What is up, Overwatch community? My name is Trips, and welcome back to another episode of Watchpoint, the show where we cover everything Overwatch related. And today we're going to talk a little bit about our personal picks for why we like certain types of heroes and, what we hope to control personality-wise between us and the heroes, how we're going to connect with those specific heroes. We each picked about 3, and we might have a little bit of overlap, but I think we're going to be okay. And from what I've heard, there might be some sweet voice impressions going on.
Might be.
But once again, we have with us Yiska
Hello.
and our lovely editor Volcha.
Hello.
So does anybody want to start with their, not top pick, these aren't in any particular order, but does anyone want to start with their first on their list?
I guess Junkrat's definitely one I want to play. For a couple reasons. His art style I really like it. I like the whole scavenger, scabby, scuzzy guy. He even fights that way. He fights using bounced projectiles, arced projectiles, and traps. And he really fits his art style, which is just a shithead, just a dirty, nasty guy that fights dirty, and that's something I really like to do in shooting games is fight dirty. So I see myself having a lot of fun with Junkrat, even though he's not really comp viable. He's kind of a liability right now because he pretty much just seems to charge enemy ultimates. That just seems to be his role right now. But as far as playing him, he's going to be a lot of fun for me to play. I really love projectile play, and the more wacky the projectile is, the better for me. And those pipes, I guess you could call them pipes, like TF2 pipes, they're going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah. He actually plays super fun, also because of his mine. How he moves around the map, or he could move. Like, you could theoretically double jump too, so you lay the mine, jump on it, then wait a little bit till the cooldown comes off, and then you could throw it mid-air before you land, and then get a double jump, sort of like that. Super fun, also kind of like bursty. Then he has the trap, so I don't know. He's a lot of fun to play, most definitely.
He seems, of the projectile plays, to have a higher skill ceiling too, because you're not going to get ground pounds, and splash at the feet. You got to pretty much connect with body shots or air shots, or get some good predictions or shut down corridors with his weapons.
Yeah. The one thing I really like about him is his weapon. Have you looked at the mechanic that the model wants to portray, how it works? Mm-hmm. It's so fun in a way that, it's basically like he found some wheel that motorized it, and that just pushes out the grenades, like super wacky. And
It's almost like a tennis ball shooter.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I tried to cover up overlap, but apparently I picked into another one because I picked Junkrat too. So while we're on Junkrat, I do want to say we talked about his mobility. I think that a skill ceiling with the concussion mines is a thing, because I think that the people who can find the jump spots and the people who can use mobility to get around parts of the map that others can't, to get to points faster or cover areas faster and such like that, or get up higher to get to things like widows and stuff like that, that's going to be awesome to see. I know you said he's not like comp viable because he doesn't really... He can't really like kill fast almost unless they get like stuck in his trap with a mine underneath them.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just kind of like throwing out ultimate percentages to the other team. But just his, like you said, his style, and although I know he comes from like almost Australia in Overwatch is Mad Max, basically, because of the takeover of the robot facility and the explosions that happened and such. But I did kind of see like the psychotic killer behind him, which really reminded me with his fiery hair. If anyone's played Twisted Metal, it reminded me a lot of Sweet Tooth, and that's kind of what I was going for. Is I like that style because Sweet Tooth was easily one of my favorite like evil characters growing up, and that's another thing is that I feel that a lot of the characters in this, I don't really tend to go for like the honor bound, like Mercy Angel and stuff like that. Just Junkrat being that evil psychotic, he doesn't care if he lives or dies, especially to go with his passive, being able to just kill everybody if there's enough people stacked on him when he dies. I think that's super cool.
He's got also similar voice line, a voice actor as the Twisted Metal actor.
Does he?
In 2, I remember he had a squeaky voice.
Mm-hmm.
He would fire his ultimate in that game, and it would be like a crazy high-pitched laugh, a giggle laugh.
Yeah, because Sweet Tooth's a clown, whereas Junkrat's not really a clown, but he does still have that same, like, I don't know, it's like almost eerie, like, voice.
Yeah.
I don't know about him. You guys have been talking a lot about him not being comp viable, though. Do you think there's anything they could change about him to make him better?
Well, my opinion would be they'd have to change something fundamental about the game, and that would be how ultimates are built. They would have to remove ultimates being built based on damage, and I don't know, maybe even rework how healers get their ultimates, because that's basically the problem right there.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I wrote an article this week with this, and I think, like, that could be an option, but then you would really have to decide that you don't like the system overall, because it wouldn't be hard for them to tweak a couple of numbers where Junkrat's damage just doesn't generate as much ult percentage. Like, if you think that I call it cent trading, basically, so the concept of calculating this damage received into your play and then trading efficiently, that if you think this is valuable, you could probably work around it and make Junkrat viable by just adding some multipliers to his damage, so he doesn't,
Just him specifically?
Yeah, for him specifically, or anyone that in the future will have area denial or something.
You could even just tie it to splash damage.
Yeah, so that would affect Pharah too?
Yeah.
I thought Pharah was doing decently well, though. I thought a lot of people viewed her at least as, like, an extreme powerhouse.
Yeah, she's definitely tier 1, but, like, that change wouldn't buff Pharah too much, I think. Like, the splash isn't...
She gets most of her kills from direct hits and kind of juggles.
Isn't Pharah's splash, like, not as big as, say, like, a soldier's splash?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Pharah's has to be more direct.
Yeah. It's also kind of... You know how in Quake you kind of don't want to go for body shots? Because it's less reliable, I guess? Like, your aim shouldn't be on someone's head or something when you're shooting rockets, right?
Yeah.
It should be more towards the ground. That's not true for Pharah, I think. Like, you should be going for body shots. And I'm not 100% sure if that's actually true what I'm saying, but it really feels suboptimal because the splash damage isn't significant enough to really put a dent into someone's HP, especially for tanks.
It's also a little easier to land body shots with Pharah than, like, in Quake or Unreal, because it's a slower game, plus you got tanks that are have humongous player models, so...
Do you know if I think it's called Total Mayhem is the passive for Junkrat goes off when he dies? Do you know if, like, a Reinhardt sits with a shield in front of those grenades, is he just going to charge a bunch of his ultimate?
If he survives, he's charging ultimate, because he's receiving damage, yeah?
Yeah.
The thing is, there is no, like, what you just said is, I think there's a misunderstanding that you don't get, if you shoot into Reinhardt's shield, he doesn't get ultimate charge.
Oh, he doesn't. He has to actually physically, like, he has to take a point of damage.
Eats the damage, yeah. He has to eat. It used to be in an earlier beta build, where you had shield mechanics that generated...
absorption generated shield.
Yeah. The thing is, that I really wouldn't like, because currently what you do to kind of beat a Reinhardt is to kill his shield. And that's also one thing Junkrat is very good at. You just spam into the shield, does a shitload of damage, it's easy to hit, and then you get him down fast, and he has to retreat for a couple of seconds or just be crushed without his shield, right?
Yeah.
So, I know, and if he was able to charge based on that, like it's not skillful, right? Then you would have to play around it. You would never want to shoot into it.
You would have to play stuff like Zenyatta, or not Zenyatta, who am I thinking of, that can shoot through his shield.
Yeah, Symmetra, yeah.
Yeah, Symmetra, that's what I'm thinking of.
And even then, like Symmetra fully charged bulb was like 125 damage, and he has like 500 HP, so... And you can imagine there's also a healer behind him, so that's free pickings. Like
yeah, and that ball doesn't charge too quick either, so...
Nope. Exactly.
Okay. Well, we kind of covered both my first pick and Vulture's first pick, so Yiska, you want to go ahead and you got something different?
The thing is, like, my first pick would be Roadhog. In the sense, like, when I picked the game up, he was probably among the last classes I tried out. Because...
Really?
Yeah, like, thematically, I didn't like him at first, for some odd reason. Like, he kind of felt like trashy. You know, he has these huge rings here, like, where I have an irrational disgust for. Like, absolutely hate it. And then... yeah, he didn't seem very mobile or dynamic in what he does.
Yeah.
But when I picked him up, I actually really liked him. Like I liked his skill set. I liked his combo mechanics, and then he has some sweet voice acting. Probably the best in the game. Like his character gets infinitely more badass by his voice acting, and basically so. About his playstyle is he's obviously is the Pudge character.
That's
So he pulls people, also very satisfying if you get a Pharah out of the air or something. It's so satisfying because
justice reigns from a
exactly that you get her, and it's almost 100% that you kill her unless you really mess up, because you can left click into auto attack, so you go shift. Left click can hold it down actually, so it releases once you're out of the animation for the hook, and then as soon as the shot fires, like you can actually animation clip, so it shoots, like it looks very weird in a way, because you cancel the animation of the left fire, it shoots the pellets out of your belly, and then you just it looks very glitchy, because what you do is you pull him, and then you left shoot, and immediately as it goes off, you
Sorry.
Coffee ready. You immediately like melee attack, and that cancels the shooting animation, and the pellets come out of his belly because of that.
Does that kill pretty much anything besides the tank?
Yes, it does. Most squishies. So it kills definitely Pharah. Definitely. Not sure about Mei, because Mei has a little bit more HP than the usual squishy character, but if you aim correctly, it will most definitely kill. I mean, in general, you could, if you really wanted to make sure, you could also start with a right click, which does sometimes a shitload of damage, like unreal amounts of damage, and right click into shift, into left click, into melee attack, and that kills a load of characters. And then obviously if you pull like a Reinhardt, you're in your effective range, also in his effective range, so you kind of have to not mess up, but you have a pretty good chance of killing him, I think.
I mean, if you... Go ahead.
I think he would be on my list if they changed one little thing about his weapon in his alt fire. If instead of just a projectile that flies out and then explodes, if it would kind of arc, fall, hit something, and then explode, like the Unreal Flak Cannon, that would make me very happy.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but
I just like the fact that his hook, people don't get the displacement hooks like Pudge and like, I mean, you can kind of say Blitzcrank, but that's like, it's not even as big. But that displacement hook is such a huge, it's a displacement. If you pull someone out, like someone that can either easily be killed or Reinhardt, you pull away the enemy team's wall So either that Reinhardt goes down instantly and then you have free reign on the rest of their team, or you pull out like a Mercy and you just kill her instantly. That tool is CC in the game that is incredible in an FPS game. Something I don't know if has there ever been something like that in an FPS game?
Not sure.
I mean, if it's not rolling off the top of the head, there might be some obscure FPS game, but that's incredible, and that's where you kind of get that like MOBA-y like ability type stuff coming in too.
Yeah, and what I also like about him is that he's very self-sufficient. Like, because of his heal, like he has 600 HP, heals for 300 on a pretty short cooldown. Obviously, what you're doing then is often you keep charging the enemy's ultimate with, constantly healing, going back in, but still, it's like if you're playing pugs where it doesn't matter as much, and your healer is not around anyway, like he's very fun to play in that because you can just dominate a part of the map basically. So.
What do you think about his ultimate?
Garbage.
As far really?
Yeah, it's pretty garbage. It's situationally is pretty good. You can't think of it as damage, though. You have to think of it as utility more than damage.
That makes sense. I saw some games where he was getting Pharah buffed. Mercy buffed, and it looked pretty good. It seemed to have the damage output that made sense with the buff on it.
It's not like very low, but it's sort of low, really. Like it's most of the time you want to use it to affect the map in some way. So you want to get them off the point, or you want to throw them off a ledge, and for that it's pretty good. Also, it's always up. Like he probably, from my experience, it was among the easiest ultimates to charge. It's just constantly up, and his base kit, is already so strong that you don't want to use it the entire time, because most of the time when you're dueling someone, you don't need the ultimate. You could use it against melee characters, and there he just shits on them, like because they can't get to you. But
it kind of reminds me of the Pharah ultimate. That's kind of like a channeled ultimate. You stand still and all your abilities are locked out, and you're just kind of aiming it. Only Pharah, she has kill potential, so if someone's aiming at her, they're gonna die. Well, it seems like so many games I've seen with Roadhog using his ultimate, he's just winding away and he just dies pretty much like a third of the way into his ultimate because he's standing still. He can't heal. He can't evade.
You can move a little bit, but not as much. Like it's very slow. Mm-hmm. The one thing it has going for it, if I remember correctly, is that you can aim it quite quickly. Because what's the problem with Pharah is when you start the ultimate, it's not like 1-to-1 your mouse sensitivity, so you can like shoot around. It's like delayed, like sort of
like slow panning.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, that's why I need to get in the beta, so I know these things.
Yeah, it's very hard to
send emails to Blizzard.
Yeah, and then so I think his is pretty direct. So you could like do an instant 180 to shoot behind you. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. I really enjoy his character design.
So you think it's not like I'm gonna kill everybody. It's I'm gonna control this area while I'm doing it. I'm using the ultimate.
Situationally, you can really shit on people. Like if they are out of cooldowns, and you can pin them to a wall, and then you can maybe deal a shitload of damage. But most of the time, like it's the spray is not as hard to control because there's like the crosshair keeps wiggling. I think it's an upwards movement. I need the beta back. Yeah, but if you're close to a wall and you can get them into a wall, it's pretty sweet. Like also, like it's pretty sweet against Reinhardt because you just pin him to a wall and like you pull your combo off, and if you then have ultimate to duel, you just push him against the wall, and he basically did like one auto attack of damage to you, while you got a sick combo off, and you should be able to finish it. I mean, ideally, the Reinhardt isn't in a situation where he duels you, but he's in front of his team. But that's just not how solo play works, or did work in the beta.
So where do you think Roadhog fits in as far as, most teams are going to have a Mercy, most teams are going to have a Reinhardt, and then there's we need, like a Tracer and a Reaper for get on the back line. But then where does Roadhog fit into that, like 2 healers, 2 tanks, 2 DPS? Now that's not always, obviously, but, there is going to be like a meta forming as far as team composition goes, and do you think he's as good as other tanks?
Nah, he's not a tank. That's one thing you have to say. Like, he doesn't function
he's
as
labeled
a tank.
wrong, do you think?
Not in the sense that he has a lot of HP and can withstand a lot of fire, but he doesn't shield anyone, or his ability, like, he is there to get picks, basically. And for that, like, he has seen some play on some maps. Like, the smaller the area is, the better Roadhog is, obviously, because his gun's effective range is quite limited. The bigger the map is, the worse it is for Roadhog, basically. And I've seen him both played in the tank slot, where people just go with one tank then, theoretically, or in the DPS slot. Also, I think he's sort of like a counter pick. And on small maps, he also shits on Pharah pretty well. Like, if the map layout is in such a way that his hook is not outranged by the positioning where Pharah is playing, which is on some situations on King's Row or something harder on Numbani, I guess. Yeah, some situations you could also see him, but yeah, in those situations where it's all closer together, he is a pretty solid solution to Pharah, when currently there really isn't like a way to solve Pharah's dominance with Mercy on her back. So
okay,
can I get my voice acting out?
Yeah,
for
you
him?
can go.
Okay,
You can go
okay,
for
okay.
it.
Okay, I'm totally going to mess it up. I practice a little bit before the show. Okay.
Are you gonna get the accent correct?
Now I'm just going to go with his most badass line, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. One man apocalypse.
Sick.
I got the inflection a little bit wrong, but yeah.
Okay, that was good.
Okay.
All right. I'll go next. Well, actually, Vulture, you started, so you want to go again?
Sure. I was actually kind of split between Mei and Zenyatta on this one, but I think I'm leaning more towards Zenyatta.
But Mei is Bae.
Yeah, you know what? I still want to play Mei so bad for so many reasons. Looks great. But Zenyatta, I'll tell you why Zenyatta won out in the end. It's because I never play support classes in games. I hate it. I like to be killing, or I like to be controlling. And support is just boring to me. I hate like channeling heals. I hate, making reses and that stuff. I hate it. But Zenyatta is like kind of a hands-off support, and he can kind of kick some ass. He can charge up his balls and do some fantastic burst damage, and the balls themselves are hit pretty hard, and they come out pretty quick. So he would be a support character that I'd want to check out, and I'm more interested in Zenyatta over Mei for that reason, just because, I can put the heals when they need to go, forget about them, put the debuffs where they need to go, and try to kick ass. However, he seems to be in a spot now where he can't really kick ass. It seems like he's a little squishy, and you can't really kick ass with him without just getting popped, basically. But yeah, his design's pretty cool too. I like the whole Zen Master design, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
Is he a full robot?
I think so. He's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes it super cool in a sense. Like, in general, they took a very different approach to the usual way, public, or how do you say, pop culture solves this robot thing, where the robot always wants to be the human in a sense. Like, that's been true since Pinocchio, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, the artificial thing wants to be human. Both Bastion and Zenyatta don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't give a shit about it, right? And that's actually quite interesting to me. Like,
Well, because in this universe, I feel like robots realize they're the next step. Like they're better than humans.
yeah,
It's interesting. A lot of like that whole Zen stuff is, in some ways, achieving a robot state by removing your like emotional ties to things. So
True, yeah.
that's pretty freaking cool right there.
yeah.
How is Zenyatta in? We'll keep bringing this back competitive. I mean, I know he's not going to knock out Mercy, but as far as his utility of debuffs and buffs and the ultimate that makes everything immune for X amount of seconds.
Yeah. The thing is, okay, so I talked to like two members of a team that regularly play him. It's Kick Esports, and they have like the guy who plays it is Taimu, and he's quite gifted in the sense that he has pretty solid aim. So from time to time, he's their Mercy player. Like their understanding of offense is that Mercy's by default delays fights, right? So when you're on offense, the way Mercy also functions, obviously, is you get a resolve that that gets your guys back up. But the objective in Stopwatch is to get to the points as quickly as possible. So picking a character from their perspective, not 100% sure if I agree with that, but that's their approach, is why would I pick a character that delays my attack by default, by a skill set, when I could pick a Zenyatta that is very upfront aggressive, has a solid kit without an ultimate, whose power is immediately there, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like it doesn't delay the attack. In general, that's quite the opposite, because the way how Discord orbs function, like honestly, you know, when people say that even though a character is underpowered, he still has broken mechanics that are just absolutely retarded. That's Discord orb for you, basically. So it's so good that in general, you probably it's so strong in a sense that you should put a Discord orb on in competitive on someone that your team wants to kill, and then you just go away, right? And that is close to being enough, just because it does 50% more damage to that person. It's not quite enough, or otherwise we would see more play in him. He's also vertically quite limited in comparison to the other healing supports. So Lucio obviously has his wall grind and is also quite quick, and Mercy obviously can fly. So, and boosts herself to her teammates. But Zenyatta is lacking in the mobility department quite heavily. But he has insane damage, really. Because there's also combo potential for him within his kit. I'm not 100% sure when it works. I would have to tinker around more with it. But I've definitely seen people charge right-click, and then when they shoot at someone, they immediately spam Discord. And sometimes the Discord debuff goes in before your right-click orbs get to the target, and it just blows up instantly. Like it's if you get headshots, does it? Yeah, I think there's headshot damage on him. It blows up tanks like immediately. So that's pretty sick, obviously. Like in that way, he plays super nice. Then he has insane synergy with both Reaper and Genji. Like Reaper, the way he functions, you see him quite often in competitive play, and that's one of the best. Also, that's probably the second best selling point for Zenyatta, is that he really enables these two other characters to just clean house most of the time.
Do you think Discord Orb is better than Mercy Buff?
Well, theoretically, yeah, because Mercy Buff does less damage boost, I guess, but it's to one person that you would probably pick the one that obviously does the most damage, which is Pharah, but...
Whereas Discord Orb opens up your whole team to do more damage.
Yeah, exactly, your whole team. But the thing is, then it puts you into a position where you're outside and that dude falls over so quickly, man. It's like he has he has 150 life, and the problem is if you have a second healer, he only has 50 life. So you can't be kept alive by heals. You have to get out of combat to regenerate your 100 points of shield. So that feels super sluggish in a way, and
it doesn't even count as a self-heal, I'd say. I mean, Lucio has a self-heal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So does Mercy, by the way. She regenerates life too passively.
Oh, I didn't know that. I need the beta. That's these little things.
Why would they give that to 2 out of the 3 healers, but not Zenyatta?
I would guess they assume the shield is a stand-in and the same mechanic, but works in a different way. I would guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, does the shield pickup also stack with that shield? Because that's an innate shield.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So if you get buffed by Symmetra, he has 200 life. But then you're playing Symmetra and Zenyatta. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like I also, by the way, I failed to mention it, but I also picked Zenyatta. So, but it feels so satisfying killing with him. Like his weapons aren't hit scan. They are also projectiles, which makes it sometimes a little harder. They are pretty quick though, like faster than other.
I thought Zenyatta has a little bit of homing on it. The orbs.
The orbs all home.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, Zenyatta is a typical case where, for instance, let's say you give him 200 life right now, or 250, and he's instantly absolutely broken. Simply because Discord Orb is probably single-handedly the best ability in the game that isn't an ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also pretty oh god, I'm going to use it, anti-fun to play against. Because if you have it on you, dude, it's so annoying because it's basically a wall hack against you. You're just falling over so quickly, and you can't really avoid it. As soon as he sees you, it could be on you.
I'm reminded of Team Fortress 2. I don't know if you're familiar with the Girardi, which was basically a damage debuff. And I think for Valve chose Piss as like for a reason, because it's a hated mechanic to get hit by, and I mean they must have picked Piss because they knew it would piss people off anyways. So might as well just make it a jar of piss.
I don't think that would fly in Blizzard.
No, but it kind of shows. It kind of shows how shitty and how hated that sort of mechanic is on the receiving end.
Yeah. Maybe these Discord orbs are actually used, energy bolts of energy, and it's basically robot shit.
Robot shit. Yeah, he's taking a shit and he's throwing it.
Used up robot batteries.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's a lot of utility in the support department, obviously, but you're saying that Zenyatta could replace an offense for that one specific team. Do you think that's a smart idea, the Mercy? Or do you think it's more better to run a Mercy with a Zenyatta?
Nah, I think you kind of want to have the Lucio in there too. It's quite hard because without a Lucio, who's doing the team healing, right? Like his healing isn't as strong. Is worse heal in general, right? So it does less HP per second than both Mercy and I guess boosted Lucio, and yeah, it would be too hard to keep your team up when it's ideally used to just put it onto a Reaper or a Genji and just forget about it, basically.
Okay. Now, mixing up a bit, I went with Widowmaker.
Okay.
I do like the mobility of her grappling hook. It reminds me, although you're not doing the same mechanic at all, but it does remind me of like sword canceling from Halo 2, where you can just get up on top of ledges. And I like that mobility to just get up where other people can't, or where it's harder, where like only selection of the cast can get up there. I like sniping. I like I don't know where I just got killed from. As well as obviously how powerful her wall hacks are. It seems a bit ridiculous. I don't know if it's as powerful as it looks.
Yeah,
It looks
is
pretty
actually
powerful.
Yeah.
It especially when you have a good player who has basically wall hacks up the whole match. With like maybe 10-15 second downtime between them. I mean,
how are you able to charge that much though as Widowmaker, where you're trying to avoid being seen? Because if part of the charge up mechanic is taking damage, is she just firing shots off all the time? Because isn't sniper gameplay you're cautiously awaiting that perfect, headshot rather than just firing shots off randomly?
I guess it would depend on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this game, I think the sniper role is basically a respawn. How do you say this? A way to lengthen respawns. So usually, this works in TF2 this way too. You get a pick. It's usually someone at the back who's respawning, and what you basically do is you reset the respawn time. So they're out of the game a little bit longer. Usually that role isn't damage based. It's mostly just getting picks. I would assume it's kind of the same in this game.
Yeah. The thing is, why it doesn't feel like you're like this Battlefield 2 Battlefield sniper in the back of the field is that the game is too quick.
Yeah.
And the maps are also too small for that feeling to ever come up. But yeah, she does considerable amount of damage, and you also can't forget about her Widow Mine, which also helps with charging your ultimate.
And that's what I had down too, because it reminds me like a couple of games, like if you grab like an AWP in CS:GO, and you don't want to sit in one space obviously, but you do want to watch a corridor for a bit. But if someone comes up behind you and you're zoned in scoping, there's nothing to back you up, where if you have Widow Mines behind you, you can get some indication that someone's coming up on you or something like that. It's kind of like C4 if you played Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. I think just her character in general, she seems pretty badass, unless...
The keyword being ass, right?
Yeah, keyword, the zoom in feature. But just, I read some of her bio, and she's not even like a human anymore. She's been conditioned to be used as just a tool. And the reason that her skin is blue is that they slowed down her heart rate so that she can have a steadier shot. So that's more of her like background as far as like, the bio goes. So that doesn't have obviously any effect on gameplay, but I thought that was really cool. Just some of their explanations of why the characters look that way. And once again, she's evil. So I'm a...
Well, she's French.
She's French. Yeah. So there you go. There's that. But another thing is the fact that usually if you're sniping, if someone comes up close to you, you have to either switch to like a shitty pistol or try to like no scope them. But she has a fully automatic rifle.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty competent too. It's not like a SMG in like TF2. It's a legit gun.
Yeah.
And they still have not changed like the ammo count either. As far as, I don't know what her clip size is, but a sniper round doesn't cost any more than a fully automatic rifle round does. So she has to have at least 20 to 30 rounds for a sniper.
Yeah. The way the weapon works is interesting in a way, because like the theme is apparently that you just flip up the visor, and then it turns into a sniper rifle, which has to charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then immediately, like if someone gets close to you, you can just flip it down, and then I think the clip size is also different for both modes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like 10 shots for sniping, and then 30 shots for the SMG. And the SMG is like, how do I like 85% of what soldiers have SMG would be, I think. Like that's a fair assessment probably of the. So it's
a weaker soldier rifle.
Yeah, a little bit weaker. I definitely think it is. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. It's fine to use, not particularly satisfying, but quite, yeah. I mean,
in a defensive situation, if you get, close ranged.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the counterplay. You don't want it to make it too strong. Like Tracer, Genji and stuff should get close to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a sniper. You're supposed to be vulnerable close up. But if they really mess up, there's definitely outplay potential for you. And yeah, that's
okay. And we talked about this before. How do you, can you use like grappling hook for mobility, as far as if you're up on a ledge and somebody comes up on the ledge, are you actually able to grappling hook in the air?
Yes.
So you could just jump off a ledge and grappling hook to another area?
Now the question is if you can grapple hook everything. Yeah, you might be able to. Then the mechanic that they use is where you grapple a ledge and then you jump, and then it's like we talked about it on another broadcast, but basically it throws you over the edge, and then you're in the air for pretty good decent height. And that's also where, like, that's one thing I'm very excited about, to see good videos of it, like montages. That's how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, that's like one word. When does anyone ever say that word?
Montage?
Yeah.
Only in montages.
Yeah. Not even there. But yeah, okay. But that's this situation where you grapple hook, get air, already go into the sniper mode while you're traveling upwards, are about at 100%, one shot a tracer or something, headshot. Like, these are the kind of kills that...
360 no scope?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll even have a name for it too. Like, maybe the community will come up with a name. We got to come up with a name and say we invented it.
We coined it.
Yeah.
Grapple boosted.
Kangaroo,
headshot.
fuck you.
Kangaroo, fuck you.
Fuck you. That's what it's called. You're gonna see on YouTube, kangaroo fuck you montages.
Just blast it in the head.
That's awesome.
Right out of spawn.
Oh god. Okay. Who's up next? Yiska, you already did. You guys doubled up on Zenyatta.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've doubled up. So, what is essentially your final pick then?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Would have to be Genji. Like, okay, thematically, I like his brother quite a bit more. Like, actually, I would have probably picked Hanzo if he was a little bit more complex in his gameplay. Well, there is room, like, the skill cap he has is obviously quite insane for Hanzo, and I like his style a little bit more, because I don't know if it's that believable for Genji, but his toolkit just pushes me over the edge, where I say this is probably going to be an amazing character to follow, played by great players.
So you think it's going to be like the flashy, whoever's, like, all these kids are going to be like, I'm going to be a Genji main, and like
that's the one thing where, like, because the hero is so hard to play, I think there's actually an argument to be made that currently that the game, like, that's my approach when someone would ask me, do you think the teams in beta are currently playing the game optimally? And Genji, because of his skill ceiling, is like, okay, there's real potential that people aren't playing the best composition right now because no one is as sick on Genji. And once people have been playing, like, I could easily see that come BlizzCon, we can't imagine a world without a Genji on a team. Like, that's easily possible. Yeah. And he has just the sickest, most satisfying highlight reels so far. Like, for instance, watching Seal play him and just pop stomping, even at high MMR, is just... because of his reset. Like, it's basically Master Yi, but in a cool way, I guess.
I thought Master Yi was pretty cool, man.
But lame as fuck.
The thing that gets me about Genji is the counter. The deflection is ridiculous, especially if you deflect something like a Pharah ultimate or anything like that, like a Roadhog ultimate.
You know you can deflect a Zarya ultimate?
Really?
It's so fucking ridiculous, yeah.
And does it instantly become your team's? Does that make sense? So if she fires if she fires it through one of her teammates at you and you deflect it, would it instantly trigger on the person if in front of you?
I don't think that's how it works, but it would be pretty awesome if it was. But then again, it would probably be down the line. Like, that's one ability, like, that will 100% be nerfed in the ways what it can counter right now. Once people get very good at him, like, they're just going to shit on kids all day. Go in, shit on kids.
Just, you'll see shit like, I don't use anything but deflection this whole game or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You will see people just killing others based on reflect. I mean, that obviously people will also get better at playing against deflect, but I don't know. It feels like the skilled player on Genji has the advantage because he gets to react in a way. And okay, maybe not for hit scan weapons necessarily, but I don't know, like everything that's projectile, if you have decent reaction time, you probably should be able to reflect it, I guess.
Can you reflect a high noon?
I've seen
yes.
videos of that, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That's stupid. That's just dumb.
I mean, the one redeeming factor for it is, which I don't know if you guys know, because I've also found out later in the beta, it doesn't reflect directly to the target that's shooting at you. You need to aim.
Flex off.
You need to aim it.
Oh, okay.
So it isn't enough to just simply deflect and it directly goes into their head, like it is in some with others mechanics in other games where you deflect, but you actually have to aim the deflection, which makes it again more skillful to use. And the deflect is just absolutely sick. Like, I can't believe they kept stacking all these high skill mechanics onto the character.
Because he has double jump and wall cling.
Double jump, wall cling. The dash is reset on enemy kills, so there's a
timing thing there. You can you can actually get
get
combos and timings out of it.
Dash from target to target through two guys.
What do you think about his ultimate? It was like Dragon Blade or something.
It feels underwhelming when you start out, but once you understand, that's one thing again. Like, right now we think of it as Genji has a pretty good base skill set. His ultimate isn't a big deal breaker, but I guess down the line at BlizzCon, like if the character was to stay in the state it's currently in, I'm pretty sure that we would think of it as, oh shit, it's up. Let's get out of the way or make him waste it by dying 2 times to it or something. I don't know. Like, he's the character that makes me very
He's
excited.
A sleeper.
Yeah, where people can... I mean, others have tried to play him. And obviously he's also a little bit like for instance, if they buff Zenyatta and Zenyatta can be part of the of a team comp, he instantly gets better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's time to kill sometimes. Well, one thing I really hated playing against in beta is like his time to kill sometimes is also stupid. Like you're standing in a corridor and he basically can't miss, and he just shoots his left click, which is 3 stars, into you. It has travel time, so over longer range you can dodge it, not on close range. And he just goes left click, shift into you. You're almost dead already. He might even, like if he's very good, he times it in a way that he comes out behind you, melees you, and then goes for a right click or something again. And if you're a big character model, he just keeps right clicking you and has an insane DPS. So, like I've seen good arguments made that he also needs drop off on his stars, so on his left click, because
Are they direct right now?
no, it's not that they are direct. They are projectiles, but they're flying in a line.
Oh, okay.
They're not like
So
arcing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So he basically can snipe if you want to, right? So he has it all right now. It's absolutely insane. Once people get good at him, like I could even see if you have skill beasts on your lineup playing 2 Genjis or something. I don't know. It's obviously Pharah currently, while her skill set is also quite hard to master, it feels like the skill floor where the players like these top teams currently is that they are already very good Pharah players because they have been trained these mechanics. It translates quite well from TF2, I think, from the Soldier, and that's why these players are already kind of very good at Pharah. And there's nothing comparable to it in FPS titles, as far as I've seen, to Genji.
Block and Load. They had OP1 Shinobi, and he was very close to. But that's such a niche, tiny game that
True, yeah.
I wouldn't say it counts.
Yeah, I guess a good OP player would also be pretty good at Genji, yeah. That's true.
Although I think in that game anyways, OP, they didn't use him very much because he was only really good at killing one player at a time and nothing else.
Yeah. All right. Lucio, you want to go with your last pick?
Yeah, for this one I have to make kind of an embarrassing confession to you guys. I really like kill stealing in games, like a lot. It's one of my favorite things to do in any game.
You're,
It's just
you're a scumbag.
I
He
am.
is a scumbag, dude, and that's the reason why he wanted to go with Mei, because he wants to annoy the ever-loving shit out of people.
That's
like, I saw it in his eyes. They're like this glint of absolute annoyance and...
exactly. That's
Shit,
exactly
you.
it. Yeah. Like how I'd play Mei was I'd like shoot people, freeze them, and then run away, put walls up behind me, or put up walls so I could jump away. Just being a total dick. But anyways,
And when no enemy is around, you would seal off your own spawn with so to annoy your teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect character for you, mate.
although this next pick I think is better for me because I like to kill steal more than I like to annoy, and I think Hanzo is the ultimate kill stealing character in the game. I played a lot of TF2, and all of my TF2 time pretty much is playing Huntsman, so I obviously love the bow and the mechanics, but what I liked about it in that game is kill stealing. You know, it's... How do I explain it? Okay, when an enemy is tied up with your teammate, it's very easy to land predicted shots if you're watching what's happening. If he's taking a lot of damage, you know he's going to try to retreat into a certain spot. So all you have to do is lead the shot and hit him. And that is super satisfying to me. Just pick off people running away, pick off people in the middle of fights as they're, getting torn up, and just get the credit for it. The credit isn't really present in Overwatch really, but up here it is. And in here it is. So
And down there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, down there.
And he kind of still has that wall hacks again with the sonic arrow.
Yeah, that it looks like that'd be a little bit useful for people corner peeking and stuff like that. But I don't think it's that good. Okay.
Not in comparison. No.
In comparison, yeah, it's not that good. In general, it looks like a kind of a neat mechanic. What I would like them to do, though, for Hanzo is give him more mobility, a lot more. Like, give him maybe Genji mobility, give him a double jump. It would be really, really cool to see a Hanzo jump on a wall, jump off a wall, and shoot down at an engagement, or try to evade that way. There's a tracer on his butt. Jump up on a wall, jump up again, and then fire down where the tracer was chasing. Stuff like that. Kind of like a mobile, highly mobile sniping skirmisher, I guess. Right now he's kind of works like a Widowmaker, that pretty much, but kind of not as good, in my opinion. Which makes him inconsistent. He seems inconsistent. His main source of damage is seemingly the scatter shot, and that's the inconsistent part, it seems.
It's also inconsistently retarded. Sometimes it just one-shots tanks. Like, randomly, you didn't even fire it well.
That seems to be what most people are getting kills with him right now. Or not right now, back when the beta was open. We're getting most of the kills with scatter shot and then, picks with the bow, but I don't know. I guess that would be another character with one hot shot ability that's really good that but the rest of the kit doesn't live up to it. Kind of like Zenyatta.
What do you think about its ultimate?
It's a utility ultimate, honestly. It's just to get off the zone.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
I
can completely cover a payload, can't it?
Yeah. Easily. The entire corridor, basically, on some maps. But, you can't help but feel. It's basically... in WoW, where they were these retard tests, don't stand in the fire, moron?
Yeah.
That's basically what Hanzo just, he's screaming.
Yeah.
And then it comes, obviously, 90% of the people also shoot it from spawn because they're still salty that they were killed. So they just shoot it in a general direction. And then when you get killed by it, it's just the most...
I feel like the combo feeling. Though with something like
Zarya,
the black hole combo,
yeah.
Black hole into the dragon is just. I mean, if you catch enough people, they're just all dead.
Yeah, but then my argument is that's also kind of true for every other splash damage champion that gets close to this ball of enemies. You don't really 100% need an ultimate to finish them off. It is neat. It's also the same thing Farah does, I guess, but not as needed.
Does Black Hole do that much damage?
Nah. Doesn't.
No.
I'm not even sure if it does any damage at all. And if it does, it doesn't do much. No. And
Can you deflect the dragon?
No. You can't. That would be awesome, though.
It just instantly changes color and goes the other way.
Yeah. That would be a little bit stupid.
Get the fuck out of here, Shenlong.
You know what? Maybe if Genji was in his ultimate mode and he deflected, maybe it should. But he'd have to be in his ultimate mode.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny.
No, but the thing is, with Hanzo, there's also wiggle room for better players, I guess. Because his projectile is also quite hard to use in a sense. Now, the thing is, I then say, okay, people are going to become better at Hanzo. People are also going to become naturally then better at playing against Hanzo. Yeah. And if, over medium range, it's quite easy to move in an unpredictable direction for the Hanzo where he can't plan for your movement. Because if he's firing at you.
I'll tell you guys a tip for how to beat the Huntsman and I guess Hanzo too at medium range is to stand still. That's all you have to do. Because they're going to be expecting you to go left or right, and they're going to be poking back left and right.
Yeah.
The same way, I guess, with kind of like the railgun in Unreal. Standing still and wiggling is a pretty good defense for someone who wants to.
The problem is in Overwatch there's some weird mechanic where it feels like you're getting way more headshots than you deserve to get. Like either the headshot box is absolutely huge, or there's something weird with the netcode going on. Like the amount of headshots you get with Hanzo is quite substantial, and it really keeps one-shotting people randomly.
Did you use the Huntsman in TF2?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, that's exactly how it operated, and people used to joke that the Huntsman fired telephone poles because it felt like it fired telephone poles because the arrow would be over here and hit you in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very crazy what's happening sometimes too with Hanzo and other characters too. Like Widowmaker is probably also exaggerated in her powers based on the fact that way too many shots are headshots.
It seems like the headshot hitbox is not even close to what the character model hitbox is because, I'm trying to think of someone with a really tiny head. Like Mei has a kind of a tiny head, and you can just headshot her kind of down here too and then out here too. So maybe it's like a big space bubble around everyone's head.
Yeah.
The thing is, to get back to Hanzo, if I had to convey to the audience who haven't played the game, is you would think of a bowman to be behind the lines and not really engage and sort of play like Widowmaker.
Yeah.
And I think that's not his field of application, really.
He's like an aggressive bowman.
Yeah, you want to feel bold, and you want to have corridors, and you want to be medium range, sort of. I mean, you can go for lucky shots on range, don't get me wrong. That can happen, but on bigger ranges, it's either way too hard for you to predict where the target is moving, even if he doesn't know you're shooting at him, or the target is just simply at fault. If he knows you're shooting at him, he has so much time to move into a direction where he just simply isn't hit. I don't know. And then basically you play around your scatter shot cooldown.
Do you think there's something that they could replace the sonic arrow with? Because if it doesn't seem as powerful or that useful, do you think there's another arrow, think like Hawkeye or something like that? Is there another type of arrow that they could add? Maybe a burn damage or something? Or
well, personally, I'd want it to be utility and to complement his main weapon. The sonic arrow kind of does that, but Widowmaker has a mine, and that mine is really useful for a sniper role. I think what Blizzard needs to do is figure out what they really want to do with Hanzo, because he's kind of a sniper, kind of, sort of, or he's kind of a skirmisher, kind of, sort of. And if they want to make him an actual sniper, give him something like the Widowmaker mine that will give him some heads up when he's getting flanked. And if they want to make him a skirmisher,
what if
they should make the ability some sort of mobility-based thing, I think.
What if instead of sonic arrow being shot at a wall to see through it, what if it was almost like a radar arrow where you could shoot it at the ground and it would detect movement in that area?
Oh.
What do you mean?
Doesn't it do that already, kind of?
Well, I'm saying, you're saying you want something to give you a heads up if you're watching an area, if you're, sitting up on a perch or something, and you're okay, I'm looking at this specific area. But if you go down, and you're not trying to see through a wall, you're shooting it at, the ground or a wall behind you. And if someone passes by it, it notifies you that someone's behind you.
Oh, okay, so it sticks there for... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's if they want to go a sniper role. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I hope they go the skirmisher role. I think that'll be more exciting, more fun.
Yeah.
What would be easier? What would be a type of shot that you would like to see for that then?
Maybe not even a shot, just mobility option. A dash, maybe. I think he should definitely get double jump, just without any tweaking to abilities. Just straight up give him a double jump. And then as far as his ability. Maybe another mobility tool, maybe a dash, maybe something he could fast fall. Maybe it could be a fast fall. He could jump down. Maybe it could be like a head stomp move even, like do damage if he jumps down on someone's head, something like that.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, currently it is useful on some maps because of the way chokes work.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of pre-fire into chokes because of the arrow. It kind of gives you a hint when someone's peeking the corner.
Yeah.
Scatter around it.
Or if you, a lot of the corridors are boxed. You know, they're segmented. There's the corridor, and so there's a big room, a tiny corridor, and then another big room. And what you do is you fire the arrow on the side of the little tiny corridor, and if you see like a Reinhardt, you know, steaming on into that section, you just fire the arrow in there and clean them out.
It's the one thing that kind of curbs my enjoyment of him currently is that it feels like there's too much power in his scatter shot.
Yeah.
Like, too much of his power budget goes into his scatter shot, and his overall power level is probably not up there with the other great characters, but he feels very satisfying to play. I can say that. Like, hitting an arrow is super satisfying, much like it is with the Huntsman.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I don't like about how the weapon works is you have to pull. Basically, the longer you press down, the more damage it does. I don't really like that too much. I mean, it makes sense, but sometimes when you're in a very close situation and you're engaging like a full HP enemy, it isn't enough to just keep tapping like left click. It doesn't do nearly as much damage.
So you think they should give, like, what if he had an escape ability?
Yeah, I would much rather see that the amount of time you pull your string is just the way or how fast or how far the projects are.
Yeah.
Projects have faults, not as how much damage it does.
Okay.
I think that would help him a lot. But I'm not sure, like, that feels counterintuitive, I guess. It makes sense that the more you pull your string, the more velocity it has and the more damage it does. It's just that, I mean, even as a finishing tool, these, you know, limp dick shots simply aren't going to finish anyone off.
Yeah.
So you're dancing around trying to basically escape for the longest time because it also slows your movement a little bit when you aim.
I don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you try to do the wall jump escape or something and hope that the other person doesn't have an appropriate sense for the game, and then or mouse sensitivity, and keeps like it's weird because it feels like you're in your effective range. And the time it takes for most opponents to get into the dead zone you kind of have, because of the string pulling thing, it's too quick. Like, they move in and out of your effective range way too quickly, and then you just play around your scattershot ability. Like,
and it's not like you can match them like this. You can't match them and kind of weapon heckle them, because once you pulled, you're basically stationary as they move back and forth.
A lot, at least. And it's also playing against a Hanzo is like, oh, he just scattershot it. Let's fuck him, basically.
Yeah.
Like, and then, oh shit, it has been so many seconds, or I didn't see him shoot it. He might just randomly dig me around a corner because the random arrows bounce in a way that's not skilled for him to use into my head. It can also headshot, and I mean, you can use it in a skillful way. Like, the way I've seen people use it is basically here's the enemy, they shoot directly above his feet, so it bounces off into the headshot box, which that is skillful, okay. But in corridors, like, it's almost a guaranteed kill on anything that isn't a tank if you angle it, like, sorta correctly.
Yeah.
Even when you shoot at the feet, it doesn't splay out in like a...
it does.
Well,
there it does, yeah.
Well, it's not. It's random though. What I'm trying to say is, it comes down. It could splay off like this, or all in one spot. You know.
Yeah, a lot of RNG there. So it's also based on surface sometimes. Like you know how in CS:GO there's this issue where there's like a ledge like this small, and here's the character, and here explodes the nade, and it's just no damage at all.
Yeah.
And that's basically like if you are on a stair on stairs and you happen to not angle it correctly and it hits the stairs, it's just all over the place. It's like, okay, blah. It's all over the room, and from there on out you can just pray to Jesus to save you, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on to my last pick, which is Lucio. So I know you said, Vulture, you don't like healing, you don't like supporting, but that is honestly something I like doing because I like giving other people power, and I like having that utility to, especially with Lucio, it seems like he can kind of do his own thing because he has an AoE heal. So he's helping the team, healing everybody. He has a few activators, obviously, to make it more, or like shields, and he can switch from speed to healing and back and forth. And that's another reason too, is that if you've noticed, all of mine have been extremely mobile, and I like mobility. I like being able to move around, move fast, especially Lucio with his wall ride, and I've seen people being able to skip just like they were with Junkrat, just being able to skip certain parts of the map or skip up to some sections. I think people who are going to play Lucio and be able to wall ride correctly, I don't know how much Blizzard's going to tweak the mechanics down of it, or how, trick oriented you can be with it, but it seems like something that might be very fun to play with, especially as a support, because playing a support can get very boring, and him being able to make the maneuverability and stuff like that, it seems like he's going to be kind of fun to play.
I think Blizzard did a good job with him and Zenyatta for support. As you said, they're fun. They're not too boring to play. I almost put Lucio on my list too, but for the wall grinds type mobility stuff. But I haven't used it because I don't have beta, but it looks a little gummy. It doesn't look like it would feel as tight as I'd want it to, and not as satisfying. So that was kind of the thing that brought him off my list.
No, here's the thing. There was this video on the subreddit just today, and he does some wall grinds where I thought that's basically impossible with the mechanics the way they are. But unless he's photoshopping or, changing the video footage for him to be able to do that, like the things you can do with the wall grinds seem pretty amazing. Basically, you can get anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that's pretty neat, I guess. The thing is, maybe it's on the wrong character in that sense, because do you want to be far away from your team, maybe outside of some awkward, line of sight issue, because you're grinding somewhere on the map and trying to get like a flank, which you can't, like his gun is also not enough DPS for him to pull off the flanks. Yeah. So it's not like you could say, okay, I'm just using the, I'm not even playing him as a support. I'm just going to, use the movement ability or the movement song, I guess, and just skirt around the map and play as a flanker. I don't think his weapon is strong enough for that.
What if you paired him with other flankers? Like if you were the aggressive support with Tracer and Reaper, if you were up there with them in front lines.
Yeah.
Giving them more mobility, more healing, that sort of thing.
The thing is, then you might as well play as a support in that sense, right? So I guess you could imagine a two-man flanking team. It's just very hard to fit into, because if you think about it, how the game plays out is, okay, it probably isn't feasible for defense, because that would mean that 4 people are holding your, the objective area, which is too little. Yeah. They would get pushed over. Like, the time it takes the flankers to get into position, they would get pushed over. So it's only there for attacks. And the thing is, I'm not quite sure if even there 2 flankers is feasible, I guess. It could be. It could very well be.
If you're going to do 2 flankers, might as well I mean, you could even use Soldier 76 to flank, and he has a heal as well and a stronger gun, and basically an escape mechanic as well. So he would pretty much fill that role better.
Yeah, and the one argument is that he doesn't have this crazy mobility where he can like scoot around the awkward angles of the map and come from unexpected places. And I guess if you do it with a Reaper, he can also get in unexpected places because of his teleport. And then if you could somehow get the Lucio in there, but then again, I don't know, it feels like you would have to get absolutely amazing at timing those. So your two-man team just doesn't get blown out while the others aren't right in the action, or I don't know. It
feels like I kind of feel like I get what Blizzard wanted to make with him, which is like a flexible character, a character that can chase down, a character that can flank, and a character that can heal and boost. But it seems like that's not what the game needs. It needs specialists, and it needs that's what it thrives on. If you have a generalist, it's not good. I mean, Comp still uses him just because his AoE heal is fantastic, but
his ultimate is also very good.
Yeah, yes, but like you never see him wall grind. You see him speed boost out of spawn, and sometimes on pushes. You never see him chasing down anybody, flanking. There's just so much of what he was made for that's not used in Comp because it just doesn't make sense, I guess. Yeah. Which is disappointing.
It's disappointing, but obviously you're going to cut parts of the characters and use part of the characters that you want to abuse in competitive. But he just seems like such a fun support, which is hard to make.
Yeah. Like, he would have made it on my list if it wasn't, like... Okay, the wall grind feels a little bit clunky. If it was better, he would be on my list. If his gun felt a little bit more satisfying, I guess he could be on my list too. But the real break, like, problem for me is I don't like the theme at all. Like, it feels so forced in a way. Like, let's put the token black guy in the game. I think it could have been a cooler theme, and then, okay. The guy that's listening to music and everything, but his voice lines are just so corny in a way. I don't know. Like, it doesn't click with me well. I don't know.
I feel that way about D.Va. I think I would like D.Va playing her quite a bit because she scoots around and bombs people. But her lines they would make me go crazy if I had to listen to them.
Vulture is not ready for the GG, apparently.
No.
Oh.
Nerf this. No.
You're not ready for, like, the gamer girl?
Okay, let's see it. Let's look at it.
I have no problem with the gamer girl. I have a problem with, like, a gamer girl from Mars who knows only, like, 5 things about gaming, like, taglines or something. I don't know. Like, she says, like, let's up my APM, and it doesn't make sense. Like,
that's just trolling, dude. That's probably legitimately trolling.
Yeah,
that seems it seems pretty forced. Like all her like gamer nods and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's forced.
It's like the Law and Order SVU episode. He leveled up.
But you know what? All of them are in that way. Kind of extreme. I think I'm a little bit more sensitive to D.Va because like I am a gamer. But you know what? If I was from Japan and like I grew up with like learning about my nation's history, I'd be like Genji or Hanzo, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you take it in the correct or in a decent, like, how do I explain this? If you don't take it too seriously, what she's saying, I guess you can enjoy it in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I like the character. I mean, she's kind of cheesy. That's the only thing.
Bunny hop. I don't know, that she has just a lot of, gamer terms, like Bunny hop, and then... Wait, I'm 100% sure she says something like ready for the GG or something, or... I can't find it in the like in the voice line thingy, but play to win, okay. Game on. Yeah. I'll show them. Nerf this, she says. Yeah, true.
Oh.
Nerf this. That's also one thing. I think some ultimates would just be infinitely better if they wouldn't have to spout them out when they're using them, like some Bond villain who just
Here comes a dragon! You know?
It's like Rainbow Six Siege that I've been playing a lot recently. It's like you're in like a tactical situation, like you're in gunfights and somebody just, I'm out of bullets. It's like, okay, well...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What has anybody... I don't know. I played a lot of games, and like reloading is like in all the games now, and I've never taken that knowledge into account into my gameplay. Like I've never cared if my teammates were reloading. Oh, okay, you're reloading. I'll cover. Like no, shut up. Stop telling me you're reloading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing. Like that's a perfect example of a mechanic that holds true in real life, where it has real merit. Where they put it into a game just because, and then, I mean, maybe they want you to be able to capitalize on that knowledge, but I don't know.
I don't know.
It seems thematic.
Even then, you get kind of a sense of like what the characters what their clip size kind of is, anyways. So and you get the audio cue, so you're like, oh, I heard Lucio's thing go off so many times. He's probably getting dry,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's also one thing. Like, he has some variance in his ultimate, what he says during his ultimate. So he has, let's drop the beat, and let's make this, and let's break it down. So that's, I don't know, it's cringy, but it's at least not the one catchphrase, Yeah. It's not like justice constantly being brought from above, like justice reigns from above. Like, it's in the first week of beta, it had meme status for me.
Yeah, for everyone.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. What else? So Junkrat says, fire in the hole, and ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Yeah, I think there should be more variants.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I'm not, like, I really want to like Lucio, but if I'm reading these cringy fucking, like, voice lines, it's unreal. Like, let's drop the beat. It's like...
It's his theme, man. He's a DJ.
Grandma, what would this black person with Rastafari hair say while he's listening to music? Young fella, well... Probably something like, let's drop the beat. What?
Yeah.
Like, it's... Nah, I don't know. Like, I could have gone with a couple of... I don't know.
It's the future, man. Do they even call it beats? Maybe they call it something different in the future.
They actually, like, apparently
let's
not.
Drop the deuce.
I don't think that'll fly in the future.
He loves the word heal. Like, yeah, it's time to heal up. Gotta heal up. Healing. Woot. Like, what the fuck? Woot. What the fuck? Let's up the tempo.
All right. Before we get a half an hour in shitting on Lucio's voice lines and other people's voice lines, is there anything else you guys want to convey in your character choices before we wrap this up? Negative?
I mean, I think in general we can say that they have created a pretty coherent idea that the way the characters that, even though we should just shit on that fact from Lucio, I think the vast majority of characters, you kind of understand their theme, it resonates immediately with you. And
Yeah,
that's,
you understand where they come from.
I think that's what a lot of people love about the game. Like, like the more casual players, or the even the games journalists like Total Biscuit, they love the game simply for these. It seems well crafted in the sense that it makes sense how the characters are designed, and also tied into the lore, even though we don't even know much about the lore right now. It just feels like, okay, there's a lot to be told. Yeah, and obviously,
it seems like a living, breathing world.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not too complicated either. It's not overcomplicating the issue, right? It's like pretty straightforward and a pretty real concern, I guess. It's like it's apparently Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk have turrets and constantly keep saying AI is the biggest problem we face in the future, and like they took that theme, made it plausible, also not too far in the future if you think about it, and it just feels believable. It's also quite nice that they tied it to real world locations, so every person has sort of like...
It has like a Street Fighter-esque vibe to it.
Yeah. Even though I can't identify with Reinhardt much. Sorry to burst your bubble, but after this, I'm not going to put on my knight armor and challenge the next German guy to, I don't know, a 100% sausage duel or something. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even want to know what a sausage duel is.
You with your dirty minds again.
Do you have anything going on your channels, Yiska?
Not on my channel, but I wrote an article, which I guess briefly reference. I basically explained a concept I called scent trading. Probably not the best name. I don't know what you call it. I just wanted to raise awareness of the thing. Discuss its merits, and I was quite satisfied with the feedback I've gotten, and I think I'm actually quite I'm not going to take credit for it, but I enjoy that seemingly on the back of this other content creators have been giving, like there are a lot of knowledgeable people in the community, and they have been finally putting into writing, and it's on a subreddit, and it's well liked, and that's the content I want to see, not the, I don't know, 700th drawn tracer butt, you know. I mean, it's a pretty sweet butt, but
it's,
you know,
scent trading, as how you put it, is a very easy concept for a lot of especially newbies to understand. If you just take time, read the article, just the article itself is probably going to up your game ahead of other people who don't understand that if you just fire shots into the enemy team, you're not doing your team any good.
Yeah, you're a feeder noob. Stop feeding.
How about you, Vulture? You got anything going on?
Not specifically. I'll use this point to say that I hope Blizzard's next map for Overwatch is a moon map with moon monkeys. That's all I want to say. I want moon monkeys.
Okay. Good use for your plug time. Me, as far as I go, I am still streaming every day currently at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I'm Eastern Standard Time. So check me out. Usually go for about an hour if I get really into the game, or if I've been getting that Dota bug back. I keep playing and playing. I keep going. Usually on the weekends I go a little bit earlier because 7 o'clock is kind of late, but it's usually after work. That's why I do it. But other than that, my YouTube channel is kind of bare because I'm kind of waiting for more analytical type of stuff. I tried uploading, I played Dead Space on stream, and I tried uploading all of the Dead Space VODs, but I don't want to become a Let's Play channel as far as my YouTube channel is concerned. But I do like to play games, single player games like that on my Twitch. Kind of get to viewer interaction. Had a couple people come in and help me figure out a couple of things I get stuck on, so I'm not just jamming my face into the keyboard for half an hour because a puzzle gets too hard. But other than that, I think that is going to wrap up the show for us. So if you had any of your picks for your top 3, either thematically or if you have been playing in beta, if a couple of them felt really good to you, make sure you do leave them in the comment section, either on Reddit or below the video on YouTube. And make sure you check us out. Give us all the likes, subs, all that stuff. It's, as a new up-and-coming podcast, it does help us out tremendously, get our word out there, because that's one of the biggest things, is not putting out content because we've been doing that pretty regularly. It's just getting eyes on the content so people know we exist. If you're not a YouTube person, you can check us out on SoundCloud. We've been doing that for a couple weeks now. But other than that, from everybody here at Watchpoint, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.